Have you ever wondered why airplanes don't fly over Tibet? Imagine the scene: Tibet, a region of extraordinary beauty, with its high altitude, jagged terrain and the majestic Himalayan mountain range. Now, picture an airplane trying to navigate through these geographical hurdles. It's not as simple as it seems, is it? Tibet's altitude itself is a formidable adversary. The thin air at these heights can drastically affect an aircraft's performance. Engines struggle to operate efficiently, and the wings have to work harder due to the reduced air pressure. Beyond the geographical challenges, there are technical difficulties that come into play when flying over Tibet. Imagine you're a pilot navigating the skies above the world's highest plateau. The first thing you'd notice is the impact of the extreme altitudes on your aircraft's performance. As you ascend higher, the air becomes thinner. Now, this isn't a problem for you in the cockpit, since the cabin pressure is maintained. But for the aircraft itself, it's a different story. The engines need air, and lots of it, to create the thrust necessary for flight. But up here, in the thin air of the Tibetan skies, they struggle to get that. As a result, the aircraft's performance can be significantly compromised. Next, you'd have to deal with the navigation systems. At such high altitudes, the accuracy of the navigation systems can be affected. This is a serious concern, especially considering the challenging terrain below and the need for precise navigation to avoid it. Now let's talk turbulence. The Himalayas are known for creating their own weather systems, and severe turbulence is a common occurrence. It's not just uncomfortable for passengers, but it also puts additional strain on the aircraft. And with the limited visibility that often accompanies such weather conditions, the risks increase exponentially. Lastly, consider the emergency landing options, or rather the lack of them. In case of a technical fault or a medical emergency, the pilot needs to get the plane on the ground as quickly and safely as possible. But over Tibet, with its rugged mountainous terrain and lack of suitable airstrips, this becomes a daunting, if not impossible, task. The thin air, turbulence and lack of emergency landing spots make it technically challenging to fly over Tibet. But would a plane be safe if it did? Safety, as you would agree, is paramount in aviation. And Tibet unfortunately poses several safety concerns for flights. This region, with its majestic yet intimidating peaks, is not just a challenging terrain, but also an area dotted with restricted flight zones and airspace conflicts. Imagine an invisible web, a complex matrix of airspace restrictions woven across the Tibetan skies. These restricted areas are either due to military installations or sensitive border regions. The presence of such zones can disrupt the normal flight paths, causing complications in navigation and potential risks of intrusion into unauthorized airspace. Now let's add another layer to this intricate web: the airspace conflicts. Tibet is nestled among several nations, each with its own set of air traffic rules and regulations. Navigating through these varying regulations can become a logistical nightmare for airlines, often leading to conflicts and even potential diplomatic issues. Given these complications, airlines often find it safer and more efficient to chart alternative routes around Tibet. These routes may be longer, but they offer a smoother flight path, devoid of the complications posed by the Tibetan airspace. Safety does not just imply the physical well-being of the passengers, but also the smooth operation of the flight from takeoff to landing. The decision to avoid Tibet's airspace is a testament to the aviation industry's commitment to maintaining these safety standards. So between the geographical, technical, and safety challenges, it's clear why planes don't fly over Tibet. So, to answer the question we started with, why don't airplanes fly over Tibet? Well, it's a combination of factors. The high altitude and challenging terrain of Tibet, coupled with the technical difficulties aircraft face in thinner air and turbulence, make it a no-fly zone. Safety is always paramount, and flying over restricted areas and airspace conflicts just adds to the risk. So, airlines choose alternative routes, prioritizing safety over shortcuts. And there you have it, the mystery of why airplanes don't fly over Tibet unveiled. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the skies and the challenges they hold. Until next time, keep wondering, keep exploring,